Hi fellow Guardians, this is Tommy, also known as TTao. Today I'm going to do a breakdown on weapon damage falloff, fighting in your ideal engagement range, and how to beat higher skilled opponents. TLDR, learn your weapon ranges and stop dueling people when you have damage falloff. In the clip in the background you'll see me test damage falloff with my friend Firedragon. He is popping a well, so he has 20% damage reduction and is able to stay alive while I keep popping shots into him. Don't worry about the specific damage numbers, just focus on when damage falloff starts. All distances are confirmed with DARCI. There are some great posts by users MMONX on Reddit, link below. He made a great chart about weapon damage falloff and specific archetypes and how low range rolls differ from high range rolls. Check that out if you want to know more in-depth numbers. The important things and numbers that you need to know for this guide is that damage falloff estimates are sidearms 16 meters, SMG 17 meters, hand cannons 28 meters, auto rifles 33 meters, pulse rifle 40 meters, bows 65 meters, scout rifle 80 meters, fusion rifle 30 meters, shotgun 8 meters, sniper 100 meters plus. God rolls will differ plus or minus 3 meters, suboptimal range plus 10 meters to any of the numbers above. If you want to hit your optimal TTK, you need to be within your weapon's range. You can still team shoot and fight at the suboptimal range, but you will see damage drop off that increases steadily as you get further away, with it falling roughly to 50% when you go beyond 10 meters past your initial damage fall off distance. These estimates are on the higher end of ranges and rolls. In higher level play, I come in assuming that enemies have decent to god rolls. Relying on enemies having bad rolls won't really work on anything above Fabled rank, so I'd rather you all err on the side of caution. If you want to see the specific numbers for low range rolls and high range rolls, go ahead and click that link to the in-depth guide by user MMONX. The first part of this is engaging in your ideal engagement range. There'll be a graphic shown above. I consider the ideal engagement range to be the area that is the intersection of your range and your opponent's suboptimal range. The reason I don't say that the ideal engagement range is beyond your opponent's range is because Guardians will often stop fighting when their damage numbers fall at a certain point. So what you want to see is for them to fight you at a suboptimal range and to essentially bait them into an unfavorable fight rather than having them switch to something else. You need to know your weapon ranges. If you have a hand cannon and are contesting a pulse rifle at 40 meters, you are going to have a bad time. Even if you land all crits and your opponent whiffs a few shots, due to the damage drop off, they will still likely kill you before you kill them. The same can be said if you are rocking a pulse rifle and are within 15 meters of a sidearm. Chances of you taking that death is really high. Now, you might be a quickscope god and are able to consistently land critical headshots on a sniper rifle at 5 meters. If that is the case, ignore everything that I'm saying, you go do you. However, in most engagements, the person in their optimal range will win the engagement the majority of the time. How to beat more skilled opponents. I've been asked this multiple times, and understanding weapon ranges is one of the best ways to do that. The other way to consistently beat a more skilled opponent is to team fight better than them, and you can check that out in part 3 of the series, linked below. The key is positioning. For example, if you have a highly skilled player rocking a hand cannon, you need to switch something that can engage them at around 30 to 40 meters. The reverse is true is if they are able to consistently outrange you. You need to switch to something that can get them in a close quarter fight with you. A great skilled sniper caught in close quarters against a close range weapon will consistently lose. The best shotgunners, if they are unable to close the gap or if caught long range, will be killed easily. High level players will adjust their loadouts and they will constantly be repositioning during a game, so you will need to adjust to them. The general rule of thumb is if you're winning, stick with your loadout. If you're losing, you need to change something. If an enemy guardian is able to outshoot you, outposition you, and outsmart you by flanking you, etc., I honestly don't know how you will consistently beat them. You gotta win in at least one area. If they are able to beat you in all aspects, maybe you can rock an ability-based build and force them into your specific playstyle. For example, if you rock a shoulder charge and are able to consistently get within melee range, most opponents will have a hard time. Same thing with the handheld supernova build. However, skilled players will change their playstyles to counter you, so if they outskill you, you need to outsmart them or outposition them. My PvP recommendations. The first recommendation I have for you is to have multiple loadouts. You need to be able to switch on the fly and cover multiple engagement ranges. For example, you could have a loadout that includes a sniper and a close range weapon, a shotgun and a mid-range weapon like a pulse, or maybe doubling down on your range playstyle with a sniper and a long-range weapon to follow up. The more flexible you are and the more engagement ranges you can cover, the higher chances of you being able to fight in your ideal engagement range. Second, go and test your weapons. You need to get a good feel for when damage drop-off starts on the weapon that you have. It's very possible that the perks and rolls that you have will change your weapon drop-off compared to the estimates that I have listed above. The things to most likely change your range include different scopes and zooms, ricochet rounds, rangefinder, and of course a range masterwork. It's not just knowing the numbers, you need to be able to eyeball an enemy guardian and know how far apart you are. Remember, if an enemy pings your outer ring in your radar, they are 47 meters away, and if they ping your middle ring, then they are 23 meters away. The inner ring is 5 meters. You can read more about radar awareness in part 1 of the guide, link below. My third and final recommendation is to coordinate with your team. If you have 2 snipers, I recommend the third person rock something mid to close range. Between the 3 of you, you should have an answer to any range that your enemy tries to engage you in. After a round or so, you'll get a feel for your opponent's range and their loadouts, and you can swap to a loadout that is going to exploit some weakness in their team composition. Off the top of my head, when my team faced off against 3 shotgun apes, we switched to long range loadouts and just mapped them the entire time. Yeah, they won the first round because they were aggressive shotgun apes. But when we shut them down the rest of the game, there was nothing they could do with their shotguns to get close to us. Another example, when we were facing some god tier snipers, and every time I walked into a lane I was sniped instantly, we switched to aping builds and forced engagements in tight indoor environments. Remember, cover your ranges and exploit weaknesses. Most enemy guardians have a preferred range. Stop fighting them in it. If you enjoyed this guide, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new around here, please also hit that bell so that you can get notified of my new content. And of course, if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for the support. We're going to be doing part 5 soon, so we'll see you then.